Welcome back to my channel. This is Venus from Heart's Desire by Venus, and I'm going to continue on in our series of Jacket to Field Guide. Thought I would just do a quick video, catch you up, and show you what I've been working on. It's Canadian Thanksgiving here, so I thought I'd just do a quick pop in before everybody starts going crazy. Ham's in the oven and the potatoes are cooking, so here we go. I thought I've got a few moments to myself. So for those of you who are following, I am using Forest Floors Fantasies by Kelly's Crafts. And this is the journal, it's actually a field guide, so Jacket to Field Guide series that I'm working on right now. As you can see, I've put an elastic closure on the front. And the last video, we put in my specimen bottle here. Sorry about that. My wiener dog was making some noises over there. He wanted on the couch. So, okay, back to it. Last video, we put in this specimen bottle holder here, which I think turned out super cute. I have stitched in my signatures, 3 signatures in here, but I'm not going to go over that with you. I've just recently did another video on how I do my perfect stitch-ins. You can always go and look at that. I'll put the link below. But what I'm focusing on today is this side. While we were gone, on the cover, inside cover here, I made this fold out with a magnet closure here. And these are using some of her cards. And I'm going to put some tags and booklets and things like that in there. And I'm not sure what I'm going to put on the other side, but I thought I'd show you how I basically did this. Super cute, super easy. And we're going to put that right here. So I have pre-cut a lot of my papers. So what I did with this is I needed a base here so that I could mat this on and make this super flat. So I've got my base pre-cut, and I've got my other pages here. So I'm just going to close this up. So what I did is I pre-constructed this and then I put it in my book. So I'm just going to go over that with you. And what did I do on the other one? I had the big flap to the inside and the little flap over top this way. So I think that's what I'm going to do again. So I'm going to run some tape down this flap here. Oops, stick it in my thing. And this flap here. All right. And I'm just going to find my poker here. Need that, and there, I need that. So it's actually pretty easy, but I'll show you. And of course I'm going to use my glue. You know how I like to use both to make sure it's sealed in good, so I don't have anything moving after. And I'm just going to stick that right in there. And for once, my measurements turned out pretty good. It worked out pretty good. I wasn't overlapping or anything. Okay, so there's that. And I'm going to do the same thing for the other side here. Just a little bit of glue. Oops, went a little crazy with the glue there. I'll wipe that up in a second. But I'm going to line this up again. Let's see if my measurements held a second time. That'll be a miracle. Look at that, it did. I'm just going to wipe off the excess glue there. I can't believe I'm actually getting to do a little bit of crafting on Thanksgiving weekend. It's kind of quiet here. My parents are at my brother's place in Calgary for Thanksgiving. So it's just me, my husband, my son Nathan, and my daughter and her boyfriend will be over later, closer to when they can smell the ham, I'm sure. So it's kind of nice to be able to craft for a change on the holiday. Okay, so I am putting magnets in here. And I got these little super duper little magnets. You can see they're pretty flat. I'll put the link below as to where I found those. And I'm just going to show you what I do. I'm sure a lot of people don't want. So I want a magnet in here somewhere. So usually what I do is I'll put it on this side, because I want it in so that when I mat it doesn't show. And I'm just going to take a piece of my two-sided tape and kind of position it where I want it to go. Then what I do to make sure I get the magnet the right way, because I've done it the wrong way before, is I just stick it on, I press it into one of my ink pads, so that when you fold it over now, you can see my mark. I'll know exactly where to put my magnet. So you got to put it ink side down and line up right back on that circle. This is the only way I can do it, because otherwise I get them flipped around sometimes and I never do it. So this is how there. So now I've got it in place. Look at that. Perfect. Okay, so what else I'm going to do is I've matted all these with coffee stained paper. So I'm just going to take the edges off. It looks like I need to change my blade, I think, on my cutter. So I'm just going to two-side tape and glue again this down. Let's move it up there while I tape. Nothing too difficult. I do want to put a bit of glue on this as well on the inside, just to make sure it holds. Burnish my tape. Get this off here. Oh, my tummy's rumbling already. I can smell the ham. I'm making a bourbon orange glazed ham for dinner tonight, so it's driving me crazy smelling it cooking right now. All right, I'm just going to put some glue in the middle there. And I'm just going to hopefully line it up properly. That looks pretty good. Burnish it down. I'm going to do the same thing to the sides here. So I'm just going to pause. I'm going to glue these pieces on front and back, and I'll be back. You don't need to see me do each piece, but I will be back and I'll continue on. All right, I'm back. So as you can see, I have covered my spots. I have noticed, though, I wanted the magnets to be so that this would be on the top and not this one, but the way I've glued it, this is a stronger way, but that's fine. It'll still work. So now what I've got is in Kelly's kit, I'm going to reach by here, she has got some of these cute pockets. So what I've done is cut them all out, and I'm just going to distress the edges a little bit to put them in there. they're a nice size pocket to be putting inside, and I'm going to put them in there, and then I can put some cards in there, booklets or something like that. Do this one as well. Get this all covered up. And then I'm going to glue and tape as well, but I'm going to start with my tape. Tape both pieces up. And I am going to kind of trim the corners here as well. Trim it down a little bit. Just going to miter the corners here as well. Just so I don't have anything sticking out and don't have any bulk in the corners. There. Get rid of that. All right, and those, like the other side, I'm going to place here. So I think I'm going to put mushrooms on the bottom. Get this all peeled off. Get some glue on here. Over. This is how I end up with all the glue on me. And I think, and then I'm just going to burnish it down. Nice and smooth. It actually is straight, but in the camera it kind of looks crooked. But it is straight. And if it's, yeah. See. Okay, it's off a little bit, but that's all right. It's hard to tell. I'm just going to do the same thing to the other pocket. I'm actually going to be smart this time and fold it over before I get all the glue on me. Just glue it up. All right, and see if I can get this one straighter. It's kind of hard to do it when the camera is blocking some of my view. All right, and I'm just going to burnish it down here again. Wipe off any extra glue. Perfect. So, with that being done, I'll decorate, you know, how I want on the front. But the big thing is I'm going to attach this into the book. Now, if you remember, we did line the inside with some fabric, distressed it a bit because I knew that I just needed a base, but I knew I was going to be covering it with paper. So I'm going to use my glue for a lot of this, but I'm going to do the same thing like I always do. I'm going to add the edges with the two-sided tape for sure to give me that instant hold while the glue is drying in its place. And because I've got a few layers of the fabric and the leather sticking over the side, I'm going to have to press this down and make sure it makes a good secure hold. So extra glue and extra tape is a good thing. All right, so I'm just going to peel all this off. And I'm going to run all my glue. And like I said, I'm being generous with the glue because I've got a bit of bulk there that I'm going to try and overcome with this, and then I still run a bit of the bead of the glue through the tape areas as well. All right, now I'm going to get my journal here, my guide, and I'm going to do it this way so that you can see it as I'm gluing it. Got to make sure the pockets are the right way. I don't glue everything upside down. I've done that before. And I'm just going to lay it in and make sure it's lined up. And I am going to open it up and I'm just going to burnish it securely in place. Okay, make sure it gets all in there. And then what I'm going to do, like I have done on the other side, is I'm going to clamp it in place just to give it the maximum amount of contact for that glue to stick to the fabric and make sure it stays where it should stay. There. A couple of bulldog clips. Oop, that one's too small. Bulldog clips. Every other clip I've got, just to get them all in there. So you can see it's all in there. Now this side, it's a little harder to secure, but what I found is I just, for the last one, is I closed up the book, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's sandwiched in there with the cover and that. And I just put a piece of elastic around it. Just to keep it closed up, just using a hair elastic, funny enough, to keep it all closed up until it dries. So that is that. That's both inside covers on both sides done. So I will be back with a new episode where I will be working on the inside a bit more, and I'll show you how it's turning out at that point. If you like my videos, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. I will be hitting 500 subscribers before too long, so I will do a draw closer to. So stay by for that. And remember, the kit that I am using is Forest Floors Fantasies by Kelly's Crafts, and I will put the link below. Thank you for stopping by. To my Canadian viewers, have a happy Thanksgiving, and I will talk to you guys soon.